So would you like to start by introducing yourself?
Away na boja. Ni mo siya ni no siya mahingan ko yung natishtikas. Obsession na din kaya. Ni siya na wani na kayo. Iwan siya na gan. Ni mo niya sindi na na dun siya. O siya po ay uli wala ni agwan and crack and and that's a long, it's when people speak the language and they understand the language, just from that they will know who I am. But my name is Jacqui Lavelley. I'm 68 years old. I'm going to be 69 this year. And I've always been like maybe 7 years out of my life that I did not hold onto the medicines. And I went through, I guess, traumatic experience when I was 27, so I just left everything, right? Because it was a total break in my life and a disconnect from the real world. And I think I went into a depressive state at that time. But I got over it. I got over it. And I got to, take up the responsibility of educating myself as a Anishinaabe Kwaya. And that started with, I guess, early childhood education. I went to George Brown, and my daughter used to be in the daycare program. And I was doing my gerontology license at that time. So I combined them both, and I did come away with great knowledge of early childhood education. And I also took in George Brown, the drug addiction and the alcohol certification program. I became a gerontologist at that time, and ologies are not really good. They're not my forte. I'm not like a good scientist that way. I believe in our science. I believe everything that we are connected. We are connected to the earth, and we have that knowledge. In that, within our ceremonies, that's really predominant. The way we hold these in high regard is an ego factor, and it is what I use in my counseling form. It is what I use and we hand around in our talking circles. So we know the teachings of the others. We know why we honor them, and it is specific to teachings. It's specific to those young people that go out and sit by themselves on the bush and fast for 4 days or 4 nights with no food or water and no human voice. And it's probably what we miss the most is human voice. Because we've become accustomed. We're very sociable creatures, Anishinaabe people. And we go from that space, right? To always hear. We listen intently to human voice, right? And it's almost like that. We were born with that. It is not something we acquire when we're 14, right? It's with us all the time. We just do not know how to articulate those things. So they lie dormant within ourselves. But when we listen to the elders, and they talk about their experience, their life experience, from when they were small children, and those children, those young people, get to understand a little part of it, a little piece of that, right? And how Anishinaabe people express themselves as elders. Right? I want to be the best of the best. That's what I strive for. And to be like community cookness is one of those things that I'm really proud of, because I was raised up in community to be cookness to everyone. Because why? Because I'm kind and I'm funny and I talk about these freely. It is we are into the inspire and we've been there for that. So it is inherent in every Anishinaabe person to share what they know, all of this knowledge. I can't take it with me when I walk out that doorway, that western doorway. I need to have given it away to someone while I'm here. Is what they call it. So yeah, that's my life. I've always been. I grew up in the knowledge, and I think we received that knowledge because we lived in the bush, away from everyone else. So the way I grew up is like honoring feathers, honoring the way people talk, honoring the daytime. I suffered tuberculosis when I was a child, so I was in a sanitarium from the age of 3 to the age of 7. That's 4 years. I didn't see my parents. I didn't see any black people there. There were no Asian people. There were no Anishinaabe people. Just white people. And the environment was white. The floors were slate gray, if you want to go that, but everything else was white. So that was like a total disconnect, right? From my parents, from my life, all of the other things that normally would have been mine. I didn't have that. There were no bugs in that place, so I didn't know about bugs. I didn't know that spiders could kill a person. I didn't know anything. When I went home, it was dark. We traveled at the night time to Perry Sound, Point Barrel. We got off the train, it was dark. Took a boat out to the islands in the Georgian Bay. I didn't see anything. When I woke up in the morning, it was switch around of environment. I was not used to that. And I went from total order and quite sterile environment to like chaos, right? Because like I had a big family. I had my mom and dad, and I had my brothers and sisters. And the cousins came there, and there was a family of skunks living in an old store. So we could handle those skunks and everything. They don't call them cars, right? So I thought that's what they were. I thought they were cats. So when we moved back to the bush in October, I was walking down the road and I saw a very big goshawk. So I go there and say, goshawk. And he looked at me and he wouldn't go away. But like I'm a persistent person, so I followed him. I was like, hey, goshawk. And I ran in front of him. And he kept on doing that, right? And he would just go walk away. So there's one time I was bent down to hold it, and it spun around and sprayed me right on my chest. So being without knowledge of that kind of activity, I just, it was like my eyes fell out of my head. My nose was running and I couldn't even breathe, so I threw my t-shirt and I threw it away. And I got sand and I rubbed it all over my body. That helped a lot. So I sat around and I played in the bush until maybe 4 o'clock. And we used to know when it was 4 o'clock by where the sun was in the sky. And we said, how do you know it's 4 o'clock? I said, because the sun was over here. And they said, so what? And I said, because he tells you what time it is. And they said, no way. No way, they don't talk. I said, yeah. I said, he tells you when it's time to get up. When it's time to go to sleep. He tells the time. And they said, no. This one, a clock tells you what time it is. Because it's a man-made instrument. So we put a gun on the end. Yeah, so he says, oh, that's a weird combination of words. I said, but it's true. I said, with people who are alive and walking any ground, it's got a G on the end or a harsh K. And I say that because K is very harsh in the language. G is much more emphatic. Like, instead of saying Nishnabek, Nishnabek. So you get that. It's not like pointed up this side, it's down like this. And all our words are like that. They go down to touch the earth. Every word we have in the Ojibwe language is like that. It goes down and touches. We're inspired by that as Anishinaabe, because that energy flows up through our footsteps. Every time we take a step, we are gaining knowledge and we are moving ahead into our future. So it is really, really important that our children start to realize that. Again, bring that to the front of their mind instead of being there in the cerebral cortex somewhere, hiding. They need to know people, because people need to tell their children about that kind of magical life that we have. It is pure. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to live in that bubble for your whole life is just so excellent. It's just so excellent. It allows you to communicate with people in ways that have been lost, happens. So that's what I bring to the table. I bring all the stories. I bring out Lavalley. I know why we hold these in high honor. And a lot of times that story is forgotten. But that's part of my ceremony, is to talk about the story. How important it is to remember the story and why we learn these. So that's all I'm going to talk about for now. But I come from a reserve called Seradoka, and my mom lived there. My mom was born there. My dad was from Cape Crook in the Singing. So I would name those two parts. And plus, I sometimes talk about my mom's family from Zagama. That's where her people came from. They were Abitons, right? They were like people who sat and watched at the big wakes. They were the ones that stayed at night and kept watch. That is the name of the meaning of that. So yeah, I know what my mother's name is from Jonica. We're the chief's line. We're being Majawoms, right? Or what they call today, Hamajawom, right? That's not how. It's being Majawom. It's how the water flows. So that is my mom's name. She knew all of these things. Because I was one of those ones who's difficult. I was ADHD if I was diagnosed at that time. So the only way she got advice is at home. So I went everywhere with her. Right, everywhere. She go to the outside toilet, I go to the outside toilet. She go to Kirk Lake, I go to Kirk Lake. She go to Cape Crook, I go to Cape Crook. And because we traveled with her sisters, they're big ladies, right? So I traveled with these old women all over the place. And I marveled. I really marveled at their mode of transportation, because they would go from Seradoka to Kirk in a taxi.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was great. They'd go to Cape Crook in a taxi, right? Yeah. I thought that was really great. And so I grew up sitting between those big women and listening to them talk all the time. And I can hear them laugh at me even today when I do something silly, right? Or I say something. Right? So I can hear them giggling over here, right? And in all my experiences, they do that. They let me know that they're still there. The grandfathers always visit me. At any given time now, it's like I don't have to be sitting in the bush anymore. So I'm going to say, Miigwech
Miigwech.
You can give me a copy of that?
Yeah, definitely. Let's
Miigwech.